Keynote by Dr. John Xerri da Caro.
Good afternoon. Thank you for staying on 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Congratulations for being here when probably you're tired as much as I am, but it's been a good morning so far. Promoting physical activity in the retirement process is the basis of one of our current researches that we are doing in the Department of Physiotherapy at the University of Malta. And I would like to just come clean at the moment that this is not going to be a talk about a digital approach to the promotion of physical activity, but it's more like looking for solutions from those people who are experts in the field of digital solutions, and also to recognize amply what has been said time and time again earlier on, how important it is that any digital or technological solutions consider the person and the patient at the center of those decisions. So what I will talk to you about is the research we have done looking at the human being, the older person, for us to understand how that person thinks in the search for solutions that are integrating human experience. So the background to physical activity is very clear. We have no doubt that participation in physical activity is beneficial across all aspects of health, and definitely not meeting the guidelines for physical activity that are recommended by the World Health Organization, especially in older adults and older age, has serious health implications, as Brendan clearly pointed out in his opening slides as well. We also know that retirement, even though most of us don't like to think about it, or actually we don't want to talk about it, is a life event that is going to happen. And that there is no standard age at which this will happen for sure. Some people retire earlier, some people retire later, but it is still a point in time that this will happen. The few minutes I will be speaking to you will be, I will be talking and making reference and reflecting upon the research that we have conducted ourselves at the physiotherapy department, and that is published in international peer-reviewed journals, making our findings also robust to meet the standards for rigor that are expected from such research. And some of the major findings and highlights that I want to share, and these are that have to flow into understanding how human behavior actually works, is that a change in physical activity occurs with retirement, especially the retirement transition. The uptake of exercise is a personal choice, and normally this is dependent on previous experiences. So, for example, if a person who is thinking about retiring used to participate actively in some form of sporting activity when they were younger, for example swimming, it is more likely that that person will think about going back to a swimming activity when they retire, and so on and so forth. A second important finding is that increasing sedentary behavior is perceived as part of the retirement plan. So it's not only a question of physical activity, being physically active or not, but it is also a question of mitigating for increased seating time. And you are all currently guilty of that, because probably you have been sitting for a long enough period of time than you should actually have been sitting. The third finding is that the transition from work to retirement is a unique and personal experience, and this ties down intimately to the necessity and the need to have a person-centered approach when talking about and designing any digital or technological tools to assist us in the work that we do. And finally, we reported that in older adults, social influences, reinforcement and assistance in managing change were the most identified motivators. So this gave us a clear indication that it was not only a personal, intrapersonal concept that we had to consider, or we should be considering, but it also must involve significant people that interact with the individual and also their environment. And for this, therefore, the retirement process needs to be seen in a number of stages. That's why it's a process, and it cannot only be seen in terms of a retirement date, the moment that we retire, or as we know in Malta, for example, when we get the special card for 60 plus. So this process starts when a person cognitively believes that they are approaching retirement age, and at that point in time they are already starting to think about the prospects of retirement. They then engage in a plan for retirement where they actively think about what will happen after they retire, and this includes financial implications, physical activity implications, social implications, whether or not they will like to continue working or not after their retirement, and so on and so forth. And then they do take a decision to retire. There is a moment when they decide, okay, I shall be retiring. And after that, there is the retirement date, that special day when they will be meeting their colleagues at work and cutting the cake. And following that, there is a period of adjustment where the person who would have retired needs now to make the adjustments that they would have thought for before in the process and move forward in their life journey. So moving forward from what we do now, and this is the beauty of human research, so trying to understand better how a person thinks, we are currently engaged in more research, and this is also done with the collaboration of the Ministry for Active Aging, looking at the experiences, values and beliefs of a group of people that will feed into our understanding of how we could manipulate, interfere or create a policy that looks at these retirement thoughts. And we included a wide range of people, specifically into three groups, being people who are actually retired or retiring. We talked to human resource managers because we felt that they were important if they were going to be gatekeepers and key people to allow certain measures to take place whilst at work. And we also talked to experts in issues that are related to older age and older persons. And from this, 5 important themes have emerged, and this is the basis of our current, really, we're working on it in these current days and weeks. And the 5 important themes that are coming out, and which therefore would need to be integrated in any digital or technological design that one would want to develop to support this, are preparation and awareness, physical activity and well-being, support and social connections, individualized planning, and change and lifelong perspective. And just bear with me to define each one by one. So for preparedness and awareness, we emphasize the importance for preparing for retirement, including raising awareness for financial, social, and lifestyle changes. Within physical activity and well-being specifically, there is a highlighted significance for maintaining physical activity and overall well-being during retirement, addressing, as I mentioned earlier, the dangers of a sedentary lifestyle. The third key point, which was around support and social connections, encourages the maintenance of social connections, so the significant others that are around the individual, and significant others could be spouses or friends or past colleagues, and also making sure that the community is well involved in that retirement process. The fourth aspect stresses around individualized planning, and in my head I can already imagine some form of digital tool that could be designed for these people, especially considering the personal and individualized needs. So this stresses that there is a personal and individual nature for retirement planning, and therefore the role of information and education becomes very important. And the best way to do this would be to capture data from surveys and assessments that are individually tailored for that person. And finally, the change and lifelong perspective addresses the need for adaptation, lifelong planning, and the shift from individual to social responsibility in retirement, encompassing diverse aspects such as work-life balance, motivation, and obviously the role of technology. What is the next step? The next step for us is to try and encourage people with a digital background to join us in creating a tool that will help guide older persons or persons approaching the retirement age to help them in this life journey, which for them is a very important step, and for which they would need to engage with technology, because they are already engaging with technology, and basically that is the way to go. Thank you very much.